Hello and welcome to the Vidra Embedded channel. In the last tutorial, I have shown you how we can use the ADC to read a single channel using STM32. So there we have used the polling method. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how we can read the multiple channels using STM32 with the same ADC. And in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how we can use the interrupt method to read the ADC with multiple channels. So to demonstrate this scenario. So I have taken the ADXL335 chip. What I have done is I have connected the X output to the A0 channel of the ADC, and Y output is connected to the A1 channel of the ADC, and then Z output is connected to A2 channel of the ADC. And of course, it's a 3.3 device, so it should be connected to the 3.3 volts, and the ground should be connected to the ground. So basically, the ADXL335 is a accelerometer, a three-axis accelerometer, so with which you can able to measure x, y, and z axis data. That's all about the connection. So let's go and create a project using STM32 Cube IDE, and I'll show you how we can read the multi-channels for ADC using interrupt method. So let's get started. So go to the Cube IDE and then right click here, click on new, and then click on the STM32 project to create a new project. In this case, let me go to the board selector. Okay, hyphen G071RP. Okay, and this is the nuclear board which I am using. Of course, you can use any STM32 board. Click on next and then give a name. So I'm going to give the ADXL335. I'll give an ADC interrupt. Okay, and click on next. Click on finish to create the project. So when you select the board, okay, it will ask for like this. Okay, initialize all peripherals with their default mode. So let me click on yes and let's see what is going to happen. So if you go to the pinout view, the moment you click on the initialize to default values, so since the board has a user button which is connected to PC13, of course, and okay, and also we have the virtual COM port routed to these two pins PA2 and PA3 on the nuclear board. Of course, not only in this nuclear board, any nuclear board has this virtual COM port routed to these two pins. Okay, and also we have one user LED which is connected to PA5. Okay, so by default it will take all these things. Okay, and also it has enabled the serial wire debug. You can go and check in here. Okay, the sys. Okay, and it is selected as a serial wire, and this system wake up is for button. And of course, if you come down in the time base source, it is selected as stick. Okay, and the one interesting thing that you observe here is, okay, it is selected the RCC clock. Okay, but if you look at the board, we don't have any RCC like an external clock, but so there is a clock which is actually reading from the the ST-Link V2. So that is set to 8. Okay, and based on that, it is selecting as a the clock. So what I'm going to see, so I'll go and set the maximum clock frequency. So click on OK. Okay, so it is set to maximum clock. Okay, I think we can also select the HSE. Okay, and of course again click on the 64 megahertz. Okay, it is set to 64 megahertz. Okay, so then coming to pinout here again, we will set up the ADC. So click on ADC. PA0, PA1, PA2 pins are connected to the channel IN0, IN1, and IN4. So these are the pins corresponding to those channels. Like PA0 is IN0, PA1 is IN1, and PA4 is IN4. It is, and it is connected to A2. So that's all for the configuration here. And then if you come to the parameter settings, so here we need to do a couple of settings again. Again, I'm going to select the clock divided by 4. Okay, the resolution is 12 bit, data alignment is 12, sequencer set to fully configurable. Okay, here you need to enable the scan conversion. Okay, it is only enabled when you actually increase the number of conversion to 3, because since we are reading 3 channels, so increase that. So once you increase that, now come to the scan conversion mode. It is enabled now. Continuation conversion mode also I will enable. And here end of conversion selection is should to select the end of sequence of the conversion, since we are having a multi channels. Okay, and then come down, you will see here, okay, the rank 1, rank 2, rank 3. So these are corresponding to channel 1, channel 2, and channel 4. So expand here. Okay, this is channel 0, and this is you need to select as a channel 1. Okay, and this is you select as a channel 4. Okay, so rest all you can leave it as default. We are going to use the like an interrupt method, so you need to enable the interrupt. So click on the NVIC settings and then click on the enable button. It will enable the interrupt. And here you can see that preemption priority is set to 0. So if you want to change the preemption priority to something else, so what you can do is click on the system view and then go to the NVIC settings. And here you can see here, okay, so here select the ADC one, okay, and then here you can select the preemption priority, okay. Since it is ARM Cortex M0 plus, okay, you will only see a preemption priority. You will not see any sub preemption priority. Suppose if you are using a blue pill or some other like ARM Cortex M3 or M4 board microcontrollers, you will able to see a sub preemption priority also. Okay, so I'll change it to 1. That's not a big problem. Okay, that's all for the configuration. Save the configuration and it will generate the code automatically. The first thing that we need to do is we need to start the ADC. Okay, so the function is all underscore ADC underscore start. This time we are doing a interrupt method, so you need to select the start ID and I need to pass the handle. The way we need to like call the callback functions, how the interrupt mechanism works. Okay, so whenever the interrupt is triggered, that means that the conversion is completed. Though there is a software interrupt will be triggered and it will eventually look for the callback function. So those callback functions you will find it in the Hall library. So click on here to go to the Hall library, and here this is the Hall library. You see STM32G0XX Hall underscore ADC underscore dot C, and here you look for the callback functions. Yeah, here you can see this is the ADC conversion callback, complete callback. Okay, conversion complete callback in non-blocking mode. We are interested in complete conversion. So select only up to void and then come here, go to here, user not begin. Okay, and here, so I'm going to declare a variable which will indicates the okay conversion completed or not. So underscore underscore IO is nothing but a volatile. Okay, as you can see if you hover your mouse there, okay, it will show that okay it is underscore underscore IO means it is a volatile. So I'm going to declare a variable which is a unit underscore t. So it is a unsigned integer, so that is the reason why I'm giving it as a u. I'm going to give ADC conversion, okay, cp lt complete flag. I'll give like this, okay, and I'll initialize to 0. And whenever the conversion completed, so what I'm going to do is I'll set this to 1. The recommendation is not to write the bunch of lines of code inside the callback functions, and also you should not use any delays in the callback functions. So save the code. So we are going to use this flag and come to while, okay, and then okay, I don't need any else. Okay, the condition is if this flag is set to 1, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the 3 channels data. So for that I'm going to declare a buffer here. Again I can declare int 32 underscore t, and I will initialize to, I'm not going to initialize, and I'm going to give 3. So the reason I'm giving a 3 is because we need to reach the 3 channels. Okay, so take this. Okay, so here I'm going to create a for loop, type for and control space, okay, and it will show you this, okay, and you can quickly create a for loop. The maximum value is 3. Of course I'm going to increment. So here we are going to read this, okay, it's a variable, and the function is same as the polling, all underscore ADC underscore get value, and pass the handle. Now, to calculate the x, y, and g values, okay, let's go and look at the data sheet again. Okay, so this is the data sheet for the ADXL335. Okay, if you come down, okay, here we are going to read the x, y, and g values at 0G bias level. Okay, and for 0G at 0G, the voltage at x out and y out, the maximum value is 1.65, and for G out it is 1.8. Okay, and of course the sensitivity you see here, okay, and it is a 330 millivolts per G. Okay, So what we are going to do is now we will calculate, we will get the raw value, and that raw value will be converted to voltage since all these units are in voltages, and we need to subtract that voltage with respect to this bias level, and then divided by the sensitivity. So you will get the x, y, and g value. Come to the code again, okay. And here what I can do is I'm going to declare another three variables. So make it as a double. So x out, comma y out, comma z out, and then come here. So x out is equals to, so first we need to take the buffer value. So for x value is connected to 0, and this should be multiplied with 3.3 volts. That is the reference voltage. I'll convert this to double. Okay, typecast it to double, and then this should be divided by the maximum value, that is 4095.0, and this should be subtracted with, okay, what is the voltage here, 1.65 volts. So 1.65, again this should be divided with 0.330 volts. So this is very simple. Okay, we have taken the raw value of the ADC, that is this one. Okay, and so we have multiplied with 3.3 volts reference voltage and divided by the maximum value of the ADC, since we have a 12-bit ADC. So it is 4095. With this we will get the voltage. Since it is a double, I'm convert typecast it to double, and that should be minus with 1.65 volts, and that should be divided with the sensitivity. Similarly, we'll calculate for y. So y out, and of course this is one. And for g also get out. So here this voltage is different. Okay, and if you go to data sheet again, it is 1.8. So give it to 1.80. Okay, of course sensitivity is the same. That's all about the code. Save the code, click on the project, and click on the hammer icon to compile the project. And here you see that code is compiled without any errors and warning. Okay, so let's click on the debug button. So make sure that the debug probe is ST-Link, and enable the live expression checkbox is clicked, apply, and okay. We are going to see these values using the live expressions. So I'm going to delete all these things. Okay, this one, and I will also add X out, Y out, and G out. Okay, click on the resume button to upload the code onto the board. Okay, nothing is seen here. Okay, why? Okay, let me check the connections. Okay, so I found the issue why it is not reading any data. The reason is I don't know why it is not taking the input clock frequency. I think it should take from the ST link. Okay, I think some settings are missing here, or I don't know whether it is working or not. Okay, so let's change it to the internal clock frequency. Okay, that is HSI, and set the maximum clock frequency to 64 again, and that's all for the change. When I change the clock, okay, from the HSC to the HSI, so code is working fine. After changing it, build the code. So click on the debug button again. Okay, so go to live expressions. Okay, expand this. So click on the resume button to upload the code onto the. You see that the data is changing. This three channels data. Okay, this is X, Y, and G, and the corresponding the converted values. Okay, I think there is something which we need to change. Okay, the conversion we are doing it here and setting this flag to 1. Okay, we will try to make this conversion flag to 0 once it is done. Okay, and then of course we are going to read the data for every 1 second. Save the code, compile the code, and then click on the debug button. Click on the resume button to upload the code, and here you can see that okay, and the data is changing. So I'm actually changing the position of the accelerometer, and the data is changing. This is how you can read the multiple channels of a ADC using STM32, and of course how we can use the interrupt method also. So that's all for this tutorial. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching it.